Good day, everyone.
My name is Annalyn N. Mayo.
And I am Camille Montero Militar from Pangasinan State University Infante Campus.
We are going to present to you our vlog type e-portfolio.
But first, here are the other members of our group. Mr. Cesar Barnachea, Miss Joanne Labuyan, Miss Mahalaisa Labuyan, Miss Rhea May Martinez, and Miss Eden Joy Merino. Activity 2 is titled, My Ideal Learning Environment. This activity will include classroom observation and interview with teachers and school personnel in charge of the physical plant and/or flashback of their previous school environment. Their exposure to various school settings will enable them to generate or illustrate their ideal school environment that is safe, secure, and conducive for learning. At the end of this activity, the FS students should be able to observe and assess various classroom management strategies that enhances learning, distinguish the features of a school environment that is safe, secure, and conducive for learning, and design a school environment that is safe, secure, and supportive for learning. The facilities available at the Bachelor Elementary School include the Office of the Principal. The Office of the Principal is located beside the grade 3 classroom. Will it contribute to the students' learning and development? Yes, because a student can go there to ask their teachers for good advice and develop a good relationship among them. Next one, we have the auditorium. A standard auditorium with a stage and a room. Will it contribute to the students' learning and development? Yes, the students can use it for program and they can play indoor sports and they may develop their social skills. Next, outdoor garden. Each grade level has designated and respected outdoor garden. Will it contribute to the students' learning and development? Yes, because they learn how to plant and take good care of them until the harvesting season. And the last one, comfort room for girls and comfort room for boys. Their comfort room is both shared by the boys and girls pupil at Bambansur Elementary School. Will it contribute to the students' learning and development? Yes, because it will contribute to them. They learn how to be clean, disciplined, and neat. Number 1. What are the facilities you find most useful? The facility I found where it's most useful is the Office of the Principal. The principal and the teacher have the facility where they can conduct meeting, advices, organization of programs, and activities. Number 2. What are the facilities you find least useful? The facility I found where it's least useful is the outdoor garden. Some teachers was lazy discussing their lesson. Instead, they instructed students to go in their designated garden to water the plants, pull weeds, and sweep the ground. Number 3. Are there other facilities you observe, remember, that are not stated above? If yes, list them below. The other facilities they have is washing area, study sheds and tables, and sports field. Number 4. Describe the community where the school is located. The school is located at Tamban Infanta Pangasinan, where it is the main or the center part of Barangay Tamban. Many students are studying at Bambansur Elementary School because there are many houses near the school. Number 5. What facilities are found in the community that aid learning? The facilities I knew here in our community that aid learning is the Bambansur Elementary School, Daycare Center, and the Pangasinan State University Infante Campus. Guide questions for the video viewing online observation of classroom management strategies. Number 1. What are the classroom management strategies that you have observed? The teacher discussing in front of her students or imparting her knowledge and insight about their lesson. After After a very active discussion, the teacher gave her students an activity wherein they draw a big heart in their papers and write down all their loved ones. Number 2. What parts of the lesson these management strategies were utilized? The teacher utilized a very engaging discussion and activity to enhance her learners' development. The teacher requires her learners to read books in order for them to become more fluent in reading, writing, and speaking English. Number 3. What management strategy did the teacher utilize to keep the learning environment safe and conducive? The students are very well behaved in a respectful manner, so there is not frustrated instructing them to behave. The best strategy used by their teacher is saying, "Very good," to every student who's raising their hands to recite and giving a clap for students who's answered the question correctly. My analysis. Number 1. When do you consider a facility useful or not? When facilities ensure a safe and comfortable work environment for both teacher and student, then it is useful. If the facility harms everyone who uses it, then it is not useful. Number 2. When do you say that a facility aids learning? Cite some instances. When a certain facility aids learning, then students can develop their skills, enhance their vocabularies, and teachers encourage learners to take more control of their learning process. For example, is a study table. Students are cooperating and learning at the same time in their lesson given by their teachers. Number 3. What is the impact of learning environment with learners? What is the impact of environment with learners? Learners who study in a positive environment can focus and develop their learning abilities. It promoted meaningful learning experiences, engage themselves to positivity and motivation. Number 4. What kind of classroom management is conducive for learning? The teacher is very strict when it comes to noisy children. She has the rules that the students must obey it. That's why her learners are attentive and actively participating to their discussion, and they are all well-oriented children. My reflection. Number 1. Would you like to teach in the school environment you just observed, remembered? Why or why not? Yes. I would like to teach the classroom I observed in grade 10 class at the Bachelor Elementary School because I love the friendly and respectful environment they have. They have an organized classroom, class rules, class schedule, bulletin board, enough water for students, well-ventilated affair, daily calendar, and well-organized and separated seating arrangement. Number 2. If you are the teacher, how can you make the environment more conducive to learning? As a teacher, I will do my very best just to have an environmental that conducive to learning. I must have class rules that the students must obey, positive personality that always show respect, provide a good and positive comments to learners, and an effective and enthusiastic when teaching. Number 3. How do classroom management impact learning? A well-organized classroom management setting helps to prevent teachers' distress, yelling out loud, anxiousness, and emotional development. And number 4. If you are to design a learning environment for you would be student, how will it look like? If I were the teacher, I will make a respectful and friendly environment for everyone. If teachers and students are free from stress, they stay focused on their learning and goals.
at activities 2 and 3 of our field study subject. This is the narrative report on the main 3 diversity of learners discussion or lecture. Having a diverse classroom is not just easy to handle. As a teacher, you may encounter different students, different behavior, cultures, traditions, and beliefs. During my observation, the setting arrangement is organized. Girls are separated from the boys. This is a good strategy of a teacher to separate them, to avoid distraction, and to focus learners into the subject matter. In terms of racial, all of them are Filipinos and local native here at Municipality of Infante. About their culture, I noticed a girl who's wearing a rosary. Well, I guess it has something to do with her religion. Also, all of them are respected. The moment we enter to their classroom, they stand up with a big smile in their faces. Greeted as, "Good afternoon, visitors. Please come in and welcome to grade 5. That's a very heartwarming moment for me. For me, a big respect to anyone who deserves it. Number 1. How much interaction is there in the classroom? Describe how the students interact with one another and with the teacher. Are the groups that interact more with the teacher than others? Upon my observation, students are actively participating in their class discussion. Most of them are willing to share their insights. Whenever the teacher asks a certain question about their subject matter, I saw their willingness and eagerness to learn something new about their learning. Number 2. Observe the learner's behavior during the conduct of the class. How do they behave and interact differently? I observed the behavior of the grade 5 pupils and how they interact with their teacher and their classroom well. In my point of view, they behave in well-oriented manner. They are advised by their teacher to raise their hand when they want to recite. Number 3. Describe the relationship among the learners. Do the learners cooperate or compete against each other? They have a good relationship with their teacher and their classmates. The teacher is imparting a quality education to her learners. And I remember the exact words she said while I'm observing, "No matter you do, always do it with love." That's why for learners doesn't have the behavior of competing. Instead, they cooperate and help each other. Number 4. Who among students participated actively? Who among them asked most for help? Most of them are actively participating in their class discussion. Most of them are always raising their hands when the teacher is looking for someone who is able and willing to read a certain paragraph in their book. Also, the learner's attention is very well focused in their teacher's discussion. I guess it is the best strategy she did to quote her learner's attention. Number 5. When a learner is called and cannot answer the teacher's question, do the classmates try to help him or do they raise hands so that the teacher will call them instead? I encountered this scenario during my observation. A girl who's called by her teacher to give insight about their lesson, but she can't figure it out. She couldn't open her mouth to speak up. I noticed that her classmates are trying to help her, while the teacher is waiting for an answer. Her mates simply whispering the answer. Furthermore, after a minute of thinking, she finally make a concept in her mind and answer the question correctly. Analyze. Identify the person who played the key roles in the relationship and interaction in a virtual classroom. What roles do they play? Is there somebody who appears to be the leader, a mascot, or joker, an attention seeker, a little teacher, or a doubter, or pessimist? The person who played the key roles is the teacher himself or herself. He or she facilitates learners toward a better and effective learning goals and outcome. The teacher's rule to his or her students is a pathway of every information that the learners must need to know. Number 2. How does the teacher influence the class interaction considering the individual differences of the students in a classroom? Based on my observation, the teacher managed to handle her students in their four corners of the classroom. The teacher knows the abilities and capabilities of her students so that she focuses on teach those slow readers and slow learners. Next, reflect. How did you feel as you observed in the classroom? Did you feel sense of oneness or unity among the learners and between the teacher and the learners? I felt the respect towards them all. The moment we entered in their classroom, I already feel the friendly and kind environment they have. They have the unity because they help each other if someone doesn't know the answer. Next, reflect. How did you feel as you observed in the classroom? Did you feel sense of oneness or unity among the learners and between the teacher and the learners? I felt the respect towards them all. The moment we entered in their classroom, I already feel the friendly and kind environment they have. They have the unity because they help each other if someone doesn't know the answer. Number 2. In the future, how would you want the learners in your classroom to interact? How will you make it happen? As a future educator, I want my learners to actively participate in our class discussion so that I can impart quality education they need to shape them and develop their skills. I know in myself that I will make it happen. I will use a very attractive yet information style of teaching. In the observation report of Activity 3 to elementary learners, physical, gross motor skills, he or she loves to play a lot. Fine motor skills, he or she loves to draw different shape. Self-help skills, he or she can sometimes help himself. To their social learning interaction with teachers, he or she is confident in class and doing good. Interaction with classmates, he or she can incorporate activities with his or her classmates. Interest, friendly, approachable. The emotional learning of the learners, food and temperament expression of feeling moody, quiet, and active. Emotional independence, he or she needs discipline to control their emotions. And for the last one, the cognitive of the learners. Communication skills, he or she can well communicate to other people. Thinking skills, it depends on the situation and how fast or slow he or she thinks. Problem solving skills, he can comprehend easily and not having hard time doing problem solving. Analyze for the year level of elementary age range of children observed, 9 to 10 years old. Silent characteristic, observe children ages 9 to 10 years old loves to play sports. Implication to the teaching learning process, teacher must help students to enhance their skills and promote the value of playing sports. To the reflection part of Activity 3, question number 1. While you were observing the learners, did you recall your experiences when you were at their age? What similarities of differences do you have with the learners you observe? While I'm observing the grade 5 class at Dumbansur Elementary School, all the memories I have back then from the visitors we had. Truly, I can imagine myself that it's my time and opportunity to do it now. Yes, there are similarities like what they didn't also within as observer. We have a guide question to answer and I know it's all the same way back then. Number 2. Think of a teacher you cannot forget for positive or negative reasons. How did she or not help you with needs physical, emotional, social, and cognitive? How did it affect you? The teacher I never forget is our former grade 5 teacher, Mrs. Hennis. She encouraged me to dream big, soar high and always do what makes me feel happy. I learned a lot of things from her, from singing, reading, and writing. She is a part of my life that also shapes me for who I am today.